Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is taking a look ahead towards This Is Us Season 4, Episode 17. There is no episode tonight as we're recording this on March 3rd. There is a new one coming up on March 10th entitled New York, New York, New York. We've already got a preview, a promo discussion for that online. You can take a look at all of that. But here, we're talking about the penultimate episode of this season. It is one there's a lot of mystery around, and I think we're going to try our best to piece together what in the world the producers are doing and also why it could matter. Before we do, though, if you do enjoy this discussion, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to CARTERMATT on YouTube, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates that we've got coming your way. Okay, let's just start with the title.
Yep.
After the fire. What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that it's going to be about after the fire and what's happened and sort of how they were able to, first deal with everything. I know we've seen a little bit of that stuff, but they may have had a bit of a deeper dive coming in.
Yeah, and it's weird because I feel like you could almost make After the Fire an alternate title to This Is Us because, so much of this show is divided into life before Jack died and life after Jack died, and Jack's death is sort of the big pivotal moment in the show where everyone feels a different sense of responsibility and struggles to move forward. But this particular moment to tell this episode is very, very interesting, especially when you throw on there what is in the synopsis, and I'll read this because this is very, very short. Randall reflects on what could have been. If that's not a concept episode for you, what is?
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably see something along the lines of what if Jack didn't die and what that could have looked like. And it makes sense that this would be coming up right now because Randall is in therapy. He has come with this sort of breakthrough that he's admitted that he thinks that he's the glue that holds the family together kind of thing. And the therapist has called him out on that and was kind of like, are you the glue? Like, is that really the reality, or is that just your perception of who you are in this family? More so, even I was thinking, is that something that he needs to be in this family, that it makes him have his place in this family, that since Jack died, that is where he slipped into in this family, the responsible one takes care of everybody, the rock of the family. And it makes sense then that this is the name of the episode, and that's sort of where Randall's head has been all this time.
Yeah, the timing of this is really, really interesting because I don't think you can do an episode like this in season 3. I think because Randall is struggling with his identity at the moment, because I think he feels like, I am the caretaker, I am the responsible one, I'm the adult in the room, that he feels like he sort of is Jack, and maybe he's sort of recognizing now that carrying this burden is a significant source of a lot of his pain. And I mean, with that in mind, if Jack was still alive, then Jack may be able to take on a lot of that. Randall could be a little bit more free. I mean, I don't think that Randall would altogether be cured of his stress, because we saw a much younger Randall dealing still with stress and anxiety, but maybe he would be placing it on something else and he would feel less in terms of a responsibility for some other people.
Or at the very least, he would know that he has both his parents that he can come to. I mean, with Jack being dead, it makes it that maybe he felt like he could come to his mom a little bit less, because she's now dealing with, not only is her husband gone, she's now a single mom with these 3 kids, and, they're all teenagers, which is not the easiest time to deal with people. So yeah, I wonder how different it could have been for all of them. I mean, this could be that type of episode where we kind of see what it could be like for all of them. My kind of hope, and I don't think we're going to see this, and I actually don't know if we're ever going to see this, but I'd like to see, since it's called After the Fire, I'd like at some point to see how Rebecca and Miguel actually ended up coming together, because I assume that after the fire, he's going to be there for them. He's been a long life friend of the family sort of thing, and of Jack. He's Jack's best friend. He's gonna want to be able to help. Like, I want to sort of know, and I don't need a whole episode necessarily dedicated to this, because this is the love story of Jack and Rebecca, and I know that a lot of people don't want to know about this, but I want to know everything about how everything played out with everyone. So I'm curious, were they friends that turned into something else? Was there guilt that was happening with it? Was there no guilt that was happening with it? I'm very curious to sort of know how that came together.
I want it to be. I want a full episode on this. Like, I'm just gonna say, season 5, episode 4, entitled Miguel. That's when we're gonna get it. I'm putting it out there. This is us writers.
I don't think we're gonna get it.
I feel like we are. I could be wrong. I know that in the past they sort of hyped up that they were gonna do all these sort of big episodes for these secondary characters, and this was the season where we had the Toby episode. And ultimately, what they ended up doing instead was they just gave us like a small bit of Miguel's family around a dinner table. But I feel like there is value in it. I mean, if there's not a full episode, I would be more than happy with your idea of just something with it. But I feel like it is to be explored. I don't know if it's going to happen in this episode. I mean, in some ways, I don't want it to be in this episode, because I don't want... I want... If we're going to go here with Randall, I want to go here with Randall and just focus on this, because the other question I have for you, and I don't know how I feel about this, but I've sort of thought about, are we going to see, Milo's all of a sudden going to be wearing old age makeup, and he's going to be seen in these different scenes where Jack isn't actually there, and we sort of saw this briefly in the past on the show, but the thing I'm wondering really is this healthy? Because it feels really, really dangerous to start sort of picturing somebody in your head in these situations where they really aren't, because it can sort of make you live in a pretend world and then have a disconnect between what's actually real. And I'm not saying Randall's going to have a break where all of a sudden he thinks that Jack's actually there or anything, but is this something that is hurtful to him, or is it helpful or wistful for him to be thinking about what if Jack was still alive?
I think it's just...
It's a tough question, really.
I don't think that it's going to be hurtful, because I think we all get to that point that we think, what if? And we sort of play things out in our head, going forward, and what if this, and what type of steps, and how would my life be different if ABC happened? I think it's just a very natural thing that happens. So for me, with this show in particular, this show is very, very good at mirroring real life and taking those hard roads that we don't want to think about. That's why this show makes people cry all the time.
I know.
So the idea that we would see that playing out in Randall's head while he's going through therapy, while he's really struggling, while he's having a breakthrough, and right before he's about to have a really bad problem with Kevin, completely makes sense, and I feel like it's almost kind of necessary.
I definitely think it could be. I mean, I think I just have concerns because I'm worried about Randall constantly at the moment, but I hope that it works out for him. I mean, I think it could help him. I think the rift with Kevin...
Sometimes you need to hit the bottom before you can crawl back out of it.
Well, and I think the rift with Kevin is probably one of the reasons why this is happening in the first place, because I think it seems as though we're going to find out what causes it in the upcoming episode, in episode 16. So if that is the case, he could be entering episode 17 on a really, really low point. He doesn't know who he is anymore. He's pushed Kevin away, or maybe Kevin pushes himself away. This feud is going on. He's probably questioning everything, and there's also still this expectation on him to be a father, a husband, a leader because of his job. Maybe that does all kind of culminate in bringing him to this place.
Yeah, it could. And I do think that with Randall, I know that he has had breakdowns throughout this whole process, this whole episode, or this whole show, but he's been mostly able to hide that stuff with this feeling of, I'm in control of taking care of people and being a caretaker, and that's why I think the thing that's really gonna break him is the idea of, now Kevin is also in this role, and Randall is not the only person in this role. And if that part is taken away from him, then where does he fit into the family anymore? And that is a really big breaking point for him, I think. So going forward, it is going to be sad to watch this unfold, but it is coming.
Yeah.
So we all got to get our tissues and put on our hard hats because it's coming, and it's coming soon. We do not have very many episodes left.
No, and I just think in general it's silly, but in some ways it's real. I mean, the central question of This Is Us: who am I? You know, what do I mean to other people? What do I mean to myself?
Yep.
Who do I want to be in terms of the world? I think Randall's having to redefine that right now, and I think he's certainly going to find his way there because we've seen him in the far flash forwards that he's seemingly okay.
Yeah, he's seemingly okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to know because we only saw such a tiny bit of him, and it's a tough situation that's going on that he was showing up for. So he didn't feel like the jovial kind of joking around, having fun.
No.
Randall, I don't know how much this breakdown is really going to change him. I mean, it probably will.
It probably will. I hope in the end it changes him for the better, but, you know, we're not going to know until we're on the other side of it. And for now, what do you guys think about After the Fire as a title for This Is Us Season 4, Episode 17? And are we on the right track that we could sort of be envisioning a what-if scenario where Jack is somehow still alive in this episode? Let us know in the comments below, and if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the CARTERMATT store, and we'll see you here next time.